What's up, Bears fans? Time for another episode of Chicago Bears Now. I'm down in Galveston, little weekend getaway with my wife and son, who are both getting a quick nap in before we do a little afternoon beach action. But wanted to hop on here for 10, 12 minutes and just kind of put a wrap on mandatory minicamp, which took place this week. We got here yesterday, and the Wi-Fi was down when we first got here, and by the time it was up, we were full-fledged out at the beach doing dinner and stuff after that. So, talking about it now, and this is why you subscribe. At home, on vacation, in the studio, we are bringing you guys content in real time all the time. So, hit that sub button. Turn on the notifications, like the videos, comment, all that stuff. It really, really helps. Okay, we'll take a look at some minicamp winners first, then we'll get to some losers. Two receivers, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore. We'll start with Rome. He just looks smooth in the drills and the clips that you see. I think we're seeing a different player. I think this is going to be a big breakout season for him. Last year it's just kind of odd, right? Like you bring in Keenan Allen, and in an ideal world, Rome would have gotten a larger target share as the season went on. But Caleb trusted Keenan; he was the seasoned vet, and it just didn't work out in terms of Rome having huge opportunities. And despite that, despite playing in a bad offense, he still had over 700 yards in his rookie year, which by all accounts is a solid rookie season. But there's this talk out there that the Bears overdrafted him. They should have taken someone else, yada, yada, yada. I still have high hopes for Rome. I think his potential is to be a number one receiver in this league. It wouldn't shock me if that happened by the end of this year. I definitely think 1,000-yard season is on the table for him. DJ Moore. Sounds like DJ is fully bought in to what Ben Johnson is selling. Caleb has been going to DJ a lot at practice so far. That's a good sign because that connection was off at times last year. It was really hit and miss. So, those two guys, DJ and Rome, they're the guys. Like they got to be reliable, big time playmakers for this offense. DJ's paid to do that. Rome was drafted in the top 10 to do that. It's year two now for him. So I have high expectations for both. I don't really care who the primary target ends up being, who the top guy is. One week it might be one of those one. The other week it could be the other. Other weeks it could be other weapons on this offense. It's well documented the amount of playmakers that this team has, but I do think these are the top two, and DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. And by all accounts, the offseason program's been a success for both, so definitely excited about that. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Who has the bigger season, DJ or Rome? Let me know in the comment section. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, who has the bigger season this year? Wanted to mention Jaquan Brisker as a minicamp winner as well. We heard from him for the first time, and he dove deep into the mental hurdles of the concussion last year, kind of explained the type of concussion he had and the training he had to do to get back and to get cleared. And he's excited. He's amped up for this opportunity. Now, we'll see what happens when the pads go on, what happens when he lays a big hit on somebody or takes on a big block or something like that. Can he hold up? I hope so, because when he's out there, he's a playmaker. Had at least one pick off of Caleb earlier this week. We know how good he is in run support. He can blitz from that box safety position as well. It was good to hear from Jaquan. It's good to see him back out there. Hopefully when training camp gets here, he's good to go. He says he's not worried about it at all. He's definitely a confident, tough player, but we'll see. So far, so good. But it's a day-by-day process with him. Azie Trapilo, him and Karan Amagaji have been splitting first-team reps at left tackle. I am of the opinion that Trapilo is the better player and the better prospect, and I think that it's starting to trend in that direction. The reporting around Trapilo at these practices has been more strong, I guess you could say, than around Amagaji. Now, they're going to give both opportunities when the pads come on. We'll see if Braxton Jones is fully ready to go for the start of training camp. He did do some brief work on the bike, so that's a good sign for him. But I think Trapilo's got a real opportunity here, the rookie out of Boston College, to take that job and to win it during training camp. So I think he's firmly put himself into that discussion. At the end of OTAs here, obviously, or end of minicamp, we got one more OTA period that young players will be at next week, and he will obviously be among those in attendance. Final winner, just Ben Johnson. He's under control. He's confident. He's self-critical. And I think you can feel the new direction. You can feel the energy. You can feel the confidence. You can feel the engagement. He's great with the media. I really like what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing out of him, out of this coaching staff. And it just feels like this is a professionally run football team right now. And that's nice to see. That's nice to see. So shout out Ben Johnson and the rest of this staff. Okay, let's get to some losers here. Some of this is injury driven. The first one's not, though. Dayo Odeyingbo, not necessarily because of anything bad, but I've just heard nothing about him. I can't even find a photo of him from minicamp. I mean, is he out there? I mean, he hasn't been listed with the players not practicing. I did hear one little nugget on CHGO. I think either Hogue or Carmen. I'm not sure who mentioned it, but Dominique Robinson, who Ben Johnson mentioned as someone who stood out to him, has been getting a good amount of work with the ones over Odeyingbo. Now you could take that one of two ways, or one of several ways. One, pads aren't on yet, maybe it doesn't matter. Probably some truth to that. Two, maybe Dominique Robinson is putting it all together. But I feel like we've kind of done this before where Robinson, before the pads go on, looks good. And then when the pads come on and physicality really comes out, he gets neutralized. So, again, we'll see with him at training camp. Or three, this might be a bad sign for Odeyingbo. And look, this was an aggressive signing by Ryan Poles. But $16 million per year, 3 for 48, really a 2+1. They can get out of it after next year, but they're stuck with him for 2 years. So I'm not going to overreact. He's a physical football player, so we'll see what it looks like when the pads go on. But when I hear, regardless of context, that Dominique Robinson is getting reps with the ones over him, even if it's just sometimes, that's a little bit concerning. So I'm keeping an eye on that heading into training camp. Edge is already a position I feel like the Bears could add at, and if Odeyingbo, struggles some and doesn't live up to that contract, that's not going to be great. So very early here, again, not freaking out, not hitting the panic button, but that was a bit of a concern when I heard that. Okay, Zack Pickkins just hasn't been out there. Now, maybe he was there the last day of minicamp. He didn't participate the first 2 weeks of OTAs, wasn't there, I don't believe, the first 2 days of minicamp. I don't know if there's an injury there or what's going on, but it's a critical year for him. I mean, right now, if you ask me, excuse me, do I think Zack Pickkins is on this football team? I would say no. Like, he needs to get reps out there. So he's really going to have a strong training camp. Defensive tackle is a crowded position room, man. You've got Grady Jarrett in the fold now. Javon Dexter is still here. Shamar Turner is in the building now. Andrew Billings is back and healthy. I mean, those 4 guys are ahead of Pickens. Like Turner, even if Pickens outperformed him, Turner was a second-round pick. Like, he's going to be on the roster. So Dexter has been a much better player than Pickens, and they were in the same draft. So I don't really know whose job Pickens could take out of that group. I mean, people have thrown out, is Andrew Billings for sure on the team. He's the only true one tech on the team. So, and Pickens, they've tried in that role, and it hasn't really worked out. So I think he's got his work cut out for him, and the fact that he's missing these reps, I think he's a player to keep an eye on as a potential cut come July and August. Okay, Luther Bird and Colston Loveland, just because they weren't out there. We knew Loveland wouldn't be. Burden still has the soft tissue injury. I would expect he's fully fine for training camp. But look, rookies missing these reps, they're going to be playing catch-up in July and in August. And that's just the reality. You're already swimming uphill a bit as a rookie because these play calls, the language, it's to make an analogy, if it's like a chef in college, it's like, make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then in the NFL, it's like, make me a prime rib sandwich, medium rare. Got to get the temperature just right. It's a different ball game, man. So they'll be playing catch up in July and August. Again, not the end of the world. We knew Loveland was going to miss this time. Kind of a bummer that Burden hasn't been out there. And then last minicamp loser, Ryan Bates. There's been internet chatter. Shout out my guy Gary Ross, who thinks he could be someone who medically retires. He had that shoulder issue last year, had a concussion as well. If the Bears cut him, they save $4 million on the salary cap. So if they do want to free up some money and go sign a pass rusher or something like that, Bates could help free up some of that money. I think the Bears are holding out some hope because they like that he could play center and guard, and he could be like the top backup interior guy, on that offensive line. Jonah Jackson's been a little banged up the last couple of years, so I think they'd like to have Bates available. But if the shoulder isn't working, there's just only so much you can do. So keep an eye on Bates too. I think there's a chance that he's either cut or just calls it a career. And then I'll just kind of re-hit, and I touched on this Thursday, the 4 players that Ben Johnson named as kind of the under the radar standouts from OTAs and minicamp so far. Dominique Robinson, Ruben Hippolyte, Joel Wilson, the tight end, and rookie running back Kyle Manungai. He says Manungai has picked things up quickly, swimming uphill still, but he's really, really improved already with his understanding of the offense. I think with Manungai, too, something that's impressed me, you've seen a lot of clips and a lot of reporting on this, is his pass-catching ability. And that's a real positive because his strengths coming out of college based on his utilization at Rutgers was his contact balance, his ability to run between the tackles, and his pass pro, like his ability to pick up blitzes and so on and so forth. They didn't use him much as a pass catcher at Rutgers, but that doesn't necessarily, and you see this sometimes with backs out of college, it doesn't necessarily mean they can't do it. Maybe they just weren't asked to do it. So sounds like his ability to catch the football is pretty good. So if he can do that, that's going to help him get on the field sooner. Obviously, that RB2 competition outside of left tackle is one to watch offensively. Joel Wilson at tight end with Loveland out and not a ton of depth after him and Cole Kmet anyway. Sounds like he's making plays. Could he push a guy like Durham Smythe to be that third tight end? We'll see on that front. But certainly after that, if the Bears carry 4, Wilson's going to have an opportunity because you have like him, Steven Carlson. It's not a lot of, proven commodities there. So definitely a player that's now on my radar. Hippolyte Johnson called the most improved player on the defense from the start of OTAs to now. That's a good sign for a rookie. And they drafted him. Loved his speed and athletic profile, so he's got a shot to earn that LB3 role. And then Domrob. Listen, we've kind of been here before. He's a proven shorts and t-shirt guy because he's a physical specimen. Can he start to take that next step once the pads come on, the bright lights come on? Because that's when he's been neutralized for a lack of good pass rush moves, for a lack of really knowing how he's going to attack opposing offensive tackles. So big couple of months coming up for him, but did want to kind of re-mention those guys. All right, mandatory minicamp in the books. Got one more OTA coming up this next week. Veterans have been sent off for the summer until training camp. Sounds like it's going to be rookies and some young players. Rome Odunze said he'll be there. We'll see if Caleb's there or not. That would be cool to see him stick around for another few days and do it. Not sure what the requirements are. If it's, it's OTA, so technically it's voluntary, but we'll see which young guys are there, as obviously they are still learning this new offense and defense led by Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen. All right, guys, that's going to do it for Chicago Bears Now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. My name is Harrison Graham. See you guys soon.